She said love was impossible. He gave her a family, they whispered. Soft pulses of light moved through hidden channels in the palace walls, unseen by most eyes. The priests of the old silence noticed at once. So did the security minds buried deep beneath the crystal floors. A single message repeated across restricted networks. The princess has spoken. Elias Rowan stood frozen in the garden, his mind struggling to catch up with reality. The princess stood in front of him, her breathing uneven, her skin glowing brighter than before. Her eyes stayed locked on his face, as if letting go for even a moment might break something fragile. He finally inhaled. You spoke," Elias said. His voice sounded loud to his own ears. The princess blinked slowly. Her glow dimmed just a little, as if she were pulling herself back from a cliff. "I did," she said. The words came easier this time, still careful but no longer broken. Elias swallowed hard. "No one said you could," she added quietly. That sentence chilled him more than the alarms ever could. Footsteps echoed in the distance. Fast, controlled, security teams. Elias looked around. "We shouldn't be here," he said. "They'll—" "I know," the princess replied. She turned her head slightly, listening to sounds Elias could not hear. Her expression changed not to fear but to decision. "Come with me." "I what?" She reached out and took his wrist. The contact sent a shock through Elias' body, not pain, pressure, emotion. A flood of feeling brushed his mind, loneliness so deep it felt endless, curiosity sharp as light, and something like hope, fragile and rare. Then it stopped. She released him. Elias staggered back a step, breathing hard. "What was that?" he asked. The princess watched him closely. "I touched you," she said. "I should not have." "Yeah," Elias said weakly. "I noticed." Before he could say more, hidden panels in the garden walls slid open. Guards emerged, weapons lowered but ready. The princess stepped forward. They froze. No one was allowed to touch her. No one was allowed to question her. And no one was allowed to give her orders. She raised one hand. "Leave," she said. The guards hesitated. She looked at them. "Now." They bowed and retreated without a word. Elias stared. "They obey you even when you break their rules," he said. "Yes," the princess replied. "That is the problem." They moved through corridors few others used, paths designed for privacy and ritual rather than comfort. The palace was quieter here, the hum of machines distant and soft. Elias finally found his voice again. "My name is Elias," he said. "Elias Rowan," she nodded. "I know." "Of course you do," he muttered. She paused beside a wide window that looked out over the city. Towers of light stretched upward, perfectly ordered, perfectly still. "My name," she said slowly, "is not spoken often. You may call me Era." Elias blinked. "That's a real name." "Yes, not a title." No, that alone felt like another forbidden truth. They stood side by side looking out at the city. "Why me?" Elias asked. Era did not answer right away. "When you entered the hall," she said, "you were not afraid of silence." Elias frowned. "I was terrified." She shook her head. "No, you were curious. You waited." "My people fill silence with control. Humans fill it with listening." He did not know what to say to that. "I tried to speak before," Era continued. "Many times, always pain, always too much." She touched her temple lightly. "Thoughts, feelings, crowds, voices inside voices." "Like emotional noise?" Elias asked. "Yes, endless," he nodded slowly. "Humans don't have that, not like you." "I know," she said. "That is why it worked." Her words settled heavy between them. Elsewhere in the palace, the grand speaker stood in a chamber of shadowed light, surrounded by priests and advisors. "The humans must be contained," one priest said. "This is corruption." "The princess spoke," another said. "That alone breaks doctrine." "She spoke human," the speaker replied. "That breaks control." Silence followed. Finally, the speaker spoke again. "Find the human linguist, quietly." Elias felt it before he saw it. The pressure in the air returned, stronger now, crawling at the edges of his thoughts. Era stiffened. "They are searching," she said. "For me." "For you." That was worse. "I can leave," Elias said. "Tell them I forced you. Humans are good at being blamed." Era turned sharply. "No," the light beneath her skin flared. "I will not be silent again," she said. The words were firm, chosen. Elias felt a strange pride at that. They moved again, deeper into restricted areas. At last, they reached a small chamber, bare except for a single platform and glowing symbols on the walls. "This was where I was taught silence," Era said. "Looks cozy," Elias said. She sat on the platform, folding her hands carefully. "Sit." He obeyed. For a moment, neither spoke. Then Era asked, "Do humans fear speaking?" "Constantly," Elias said. "We just do it anyway." She tilted her head. Why? He thought about it. Because being silent when you have something to say hurts more. Her glow softened. I think, she said, that is why I chose you. Security finally found them. The doors slid open, revealing armored guards and the Grand Speaker himself. Era stood. I will speak, she said calmly. Gasps rippled through the room. The speaker raised a hand. Your silence is the Empire. Era looked at him. Then the Empire is afraid. The speaker turned his gaze to Elias. Remove the human. Guards moved forward. Elias did not move. Neither did Era. She stepped between Elias and the guards. No, she said. The word echoed louder than any alarm. The guards froze again, caught between law and living proof. This is not over, the speaker said quietly. You will return to silence. Era met his gaze. I will choose. The speaker left without another word. Later, when the palace finally grew quiet again, Elias sat alone in his assigned quarters, mind racing. A message blinked on his console. Do not speak to anyone about today. Do not leave your quarters. He laughed softly. Too late, he whispered. Somewhere in the palace, Era stood alone at her window, listening not to silence, but to the sound of her own thoughts, clear for the first time. And across the stars, humanity unknowingly stood one step closer to changing an empire built on fear.